Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So today I'm working here in this little blue Reader's Digest. And I wanted to do, now where is it? I had it all right here. I want to do this little envelope here, and I'm going to do two things with it. It's going to be a pocket that loads from the top, but it's also going to be a belly band, and I'm going to show you. So hold on a second. I need to gather. Oh, here they are. I have some little printables that I want to use, and these little printables, they're from the My Porch Prints, and they're called it's their Hummingbird printables that I'm using. It's their Hummingbird set. Now, on the other side, of course, is a window. So, on this little envelope here, you can either cover inside that window there with something like a book page, scrapbook paper, whatever you want to use. Now, I have some scrapbook paper scraps that, I kind of want to see if I like for in this book. And I might use a piece of that. We'll see. But what this is going to do is it's going to wrap around the page like this. And it's going to glue down here, here. No, it's going to glue down on the side. And it's going to glue down on this side. Not on the fold. It's going to glue down here. And I'm going to have a pocket here. And then there'll be a pocket back here that'll come all the way through. Let me show you what I mean here. It'll come all the way through like a belly band. And then there'll be a pocket inside. Now, I've already picked out what I want to do on this. And I'm not covering this side. Now, for that side, you know what? Let me sit down here. Hold on a second. Hold on, I'm walking my chair up to the table. And I want to keep this simple, like I'm not going to ink it anymore or anything like that. But I do think, now that I'm looking at it, I want to go on and cover the inside of this before I do anything and see. So I'm just going to stick this in there and see if I like it with the piece that I picked out. Okay, it wasn't the bunny rabbit. Wasn't. Now, where did it go? Yeah, I have spent a couple out. Here it is. It was this one. Yeah, I think that one will be okay with that paper in there. So I'm going to cut a piece of paper that fits, and I want it to fill in that window. So I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger than the window. It doesn't have to, completely. I don't want it to go over here. So I need to mark where I want to cut it. And I'm going to cut it just shy of that fold. For my width here. Now, where is my mark? Do you guys do that? You make a mark and, then you move your paper and then you lose it. Oh, gracious. I've lost my little mark. Oh, I hate when I do that. That makes me crazy. That just makes me crazy. Okay, so then I have to put it back in and do it again. And it's usually because I'm looking, there it is right there. I'm looking in the wrong spot. I was looking up too high. There it is right there. Okay. So now, oh, Lord, you ding dong. Okay, so let's move this over here a little bit like that. Okay, so that's going to be wrapped. Now, I do want this because it's going to be a pocket. Now, I don't want it to go over to the fold because it's going to be wrapped around. But I did want it to be a little bit wider than that. Why did I cut that off so much? What was I thinking? Because now there's nothing over there. I'm telling you what, this paper right here has made me crazy. I have cut it wrong twice. I have cut it wrong 2 times. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to cut it across that way. And I think that's why. Because I forget that it has a pattern on it. There. I think that's my problem. That's better. Now, where's my fold? Right there. So I want to cut it right inside my fold. So my fold's not catching it. Okay, so, yeah, because it's going to fold like that. Perfect. Now mine has a little tiny bit at the top, and I'm going to trim that after I get this glued in, but I want to get this glued in first. Now, I'm going to leave it right where it is. I'm not going to take it out because, you know, that's a whole different war game. I'm going to leave it right where it is, and I'm just, okay, maybe I am going to take it out because this is not working very well. I'm just going to put some glue on the back of it. Doesn't have to be a lot because it's, you know, it's not really going anywhere. It's just kind of my backdrop. But I do need to make sure when I put it in, it goes over to the end and down. You need to make sure it's down and it's over. There. Now, I need to make sure it's squished. Okay. Okay, good. Now, perfect. Except I could have moved it over a little bit. No, that's all right. I'm not even going there. Now, on the outside here, where I didn't squish it over, I'm telling you what, guys, this is just... I can put this and put my bird on top of it. I can cut that a little bit smaller even, or I can put some book page there. Let's put some lace there. Maybe let's put some lace. Get up there and stay there. You see, I had this all worked out in my head, and things are not coming together like they're supposed to. Let's put some lace there. Maybe some flat lace. Now, let's see how I like that with my little butterfly. Yeah, things just did not work like they were supposed to. But that's okay. We have ways around that. Now, that's where the fold is, so I need to be careful. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, so let me put some glue down here. Right up there. Now, before I put that down, I'm going to wipe that back a little bit because I want to trim that. Now, right inside there, I can see where my paper sits. And I want to trim right across the top of the envelope. I'm pretty much taking that little blue line off. That little blue line that was there. I pretty much took that off. Trimmed that right off. Now I'm going to take this. I need to put my glue back up here. Make sure that this glue is here for my lace. Now, I think this has a right and wrong. I'm not sure. And I'm going to put this right here. Okay. Now, this little guy is going to go here. Now, I'm not worried about that. Okay, so under this part here, I'm just putting a little more glue to hold this down, because I just want that held down in place. And then I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. Now, I didn't ink these printables up any. I just left them like they were because I wanted them to stand out against this dark envelope. Okay, like that. Now, I want that tail to go down. Okay, now I can still see my paper. Okay, so that's actually the other side. That's actually this side. Okay, so there's that one. Or I could wrap it around this page if I wanted, or I mean the left side of the page. Now, to do this side here, I want to put down this piece. And under this piece, I want a piece of cheesecloth. Okay, I don't want the dark, I want the light. I want just a light piece, and I wonder if I have a small piece already in here. I don't think I do. Oh, maybe. Let's see. Let's see how big this piece is. Maybe. No, I don't. Oh, wait, yes I do. Right here. Okay, this is tea-dyed cheesecloth. And what I did was I just took this, I took my cheesecloth when I took it out of the package, and I literally just took a pair of kitchen shears and cut it in half. Just chop, chop, chop. Because it's folded into like 4 or 5 folds, and then they take that big bunch and then they fold it in half. I unfolded it this way, and I just cut it in half. One half I dropped into a tea bath, and then the other half I dropped into my coffee bath. And that gave me 2 different ones. So I want to put this back here. And I have to tell you what happened today. I was outside working in my greenhouse, and my window down my my deck is double story. And I kept noticing downstairs on the porch, as I went out the basement door, that window is filthy. I mean, it's just filthy on the outside. And I kept thinking, what is making this mess on this window? Because the dogs don't go down there. And, you know, there's no reason for that window to be that dirty. And it just looks funny. So I thought, well, maybe the last storm we had, you know, blew mud or something. Because that's what it looks like. It's just speckled mud and stuff. So I thought, well, when I get done, I am going to get this window cleaned. So I took some stuff out to the greenhouse. And I came back in. I started a load of laundry. And as I started back out the door, you are not going to believe what I saw against the door. There was a robin trying to build her nest against the mullings. Do you know what mullings are? If you have windows that has the frame that looks like this board on your windows, those are called mullings. She was trying to build a nest on the crossbars that go like this right in the middle. She was trying to build her nest there. That's where all the mud was coming from, because she was bringing mud in and splattering it against my window, so so everything would stick. I kept having to run her away. So every time I would run her away and I would walk away from it, she would come back. she would come back to the window. So I took some plants out to the garden, set them in the bed, came back. There she was again. And I thought, oh, she's nesting. That's the big deal. She wants to build a nest. She's ready to lay her eggs. So I got some pots out and I set some pots up where she wants to build. So she can maybe, you know, get a nest built and quit pecking on my windows before she breaks them. And I thought, well, that might work. I don't know if it'll make her happy or not, but I thought my husband might have to secure those pots down because they're above a light, which is where she likes to build. That's where she built last year, above the light by his garage. I thought, you little stinker. Okay. So what I did was I put glue down here and here, right on the side of the fold. And over here, I did the same thing. I put glue here and right on the inside of the fold. So now I can make a tag that goes all the way through, like that. And I can also make something that goes in like that into the pocket. So I have a little box somewhere with tags in it that I've already made. I just have to find it again. I was on a mad search today for my oxides that I misplaced, and I've misplaced the box. So now let me show you a way we can make one if the envelope is already sewn in. So I'm going to let this dry before I do anything else. So I'm going to have to go out and check on her in the morning and see if she started, see if she has started building that nest. You know, and maybe catch her when she's away from the area, so I can maybe anchor that. I put a pot up there for her. So maybe, oops, it's upside down. So maybe I can help her. Is it? Or isn't it? This way. Okay, so this is the cereal box journal that we just started. And one of the envelopes in here, this one, I think it's this one, I think was big enough. Nope, that's not the one, because I wanted to use one of these pictures with the books. Well, that's the double one. That's not the one. So maybe it was this one. Oh, that one. Was that one? Okay. Maybe it was this one. Now that's another small window. So maybe it was this one. It's hard keeping these envelopes straight. Okay, where's the other end of this envelope here? Here. Okay, so it's this one. So this envelope is bigger. Now this envelope is sewn in to the book. Okay, this one is sewn in. So now I can still make a belly band out of it on both sides. I can still make a belly band, but the other one would be all the way over here. And it's still open at the top, so I can make a pocket. Now one of the others is open on the side, but this would be a perfect choice to make a belly band. Now, and I can cover the inside of this just like I did on the other one, except for this one, instead of using cardstock, I want to use a piece of book page. Here it is. And I think I want to use this piece if it's big enough, and I think it is. So I want to cut off this, and this is actually just from a magazine. So let's see if we need to trim off more. I think we do. Okay, let's trim off this edge. See what we need to trim here. All right, so we need to trim a little bit more. Let's just put it down here and see what we need to trim. Okay. So I hope you guys are having a good day today. And I hope you are working in your journals and you're having some fun. Okay. All right, so we're going to use that little book page there. Now, I haven't checked it for height. It might be okay. I'm not really sure yet. So I'm going to tuck it in this envelope. See what we have here. Let me turn this upside down so I can see where I'm headed here. Oh, fits perfect. There we go. Now on this one to decorate the front, I do think I want to cover the front of this up here. Oh, I've got the hiccups. I am so sorry. But I want to use some more of this book, some more book page, maybe from the same book, or maybe not. I know I want to cover this at the top. Maybe we'll use these words here. So, you know what? I'm going to cut them with my cutter. Otherwise, they are going to be a mess. I can already tell you that. So let's try this. Let's try it this way. And see if we can use these. Yeah, because we'll be able to use that. And maybe we can spread them out. Now, these are just all from a gardening book that I have. Okay. So maybe we can put the garden in summer on there. So let's just take our scissors here. I don't know if I can do that on this cutter. I'm not very good at cutting between words on little pieces of paper. But if I'm off camera, I apologize. I'm just trying to get this straight. So let's see if I can do this. Oops. All right, I'm trying to hold this still. Oh, that worked better than I thought it was going to. All right, so we're going to put that across the bottom. Okay, where it bent, I'm just going to cut it. Now, I do think I will ink this up because this is a little bit too white. Just a little bit. Take off a little bit of the white. And I don't know if you heard me in my last video. I couldn't find any of my oxides. They had disappeared. Well, I found them today. Before I started making this video, I knew what the container looked like I had them in. Do you guys ever do that? You know something, you know you put it someplace. Or, well, let me take that back. I knew I had put what type of container I had them in. You know, I had taken them off of what I call my summer desk. And because they just take up too much room on this small work area. There. I think I want that right there. And I knew they were all back in the Tim Holtz container. I knew that's where they were. And I knew I had done it before we started working over here. I knew we had. I knew I had. There was no doubt in my mind I had done that because they weren't over here. Now, and it had all my extra colors in it because over here right now are just my favorite greens, my favorite browns, and my tea dye. That's all that's over here. Okay. So, all right, so that little bunny rabbit, yeah, see, he's my nemesis in the garden. And so is this little varmint. Because he has figured out how to have babies in my flower beds, or my garden beds. So I want to put him right there. And I think on this side, we're going to we're going to leave, you know what, maybe we'll make the tag with him. And let's see how he fits. Let's see, how does this go? He goes this way. And I think we'll put that there. Let's just tap, tap, tap on this edge. Now these little printables, like I said, they're just from My Porch Prints. And you can get them on their site, on their Etsy site. And the one thing I like about printables is once they're yours, they're yours. And I don't use them very often, but you know, these little garden ones, I couldn't pass them up. Okay, we're gonna put that right there. And I have them, so I decided it was time I spent the time and did some cutting. You know, other than looking at the pages and going, wow, that's really cute. You know, it was time I cut them out. All right, so we're going to scoot that up a little bit. Like that. Okay, now we're going to make our tag with the bunny rabbit. So let's find something to make a quick tag with. Because he's a pretty good sized tag, isn't he? Now, let's see if this would fit. Yes, it will. Okay, and it's white to boot. Hot diggity. So we need to do something. Because white on white, yeah, that's not going to make me happy. So, I'm thinking the first thing we're going to do is get out this. And even though... Oops, you guys get out of my way. Stay here, little bunny. Even though we're going to end up nipping things, let me get my... That's not it. Here it is. Even though we're going to end up covering most of what we're about to do, that's okay. Now, I'm just going to use my card here and cut my edges. Normally I don't. I just cut them. But this is so big. I want them to match. And I want to round my corners. Okay, so I'm going to take my dauber. Actually, I'm going to take my brush. And I want to bring some in here on the sides and on my edges. And I'm just kind of bringing it in. Okay. Now, my favorite green is up here. I have bundled sage and shabby shutters. Those are my two favorite greens. And that's brown. Where's my green? There it is. So I'm going to take my green dauber. And I'm going to bring some green here around the bottom. Just a little bit up here, but more darker green down here at the bottom. Where's my paper towel? What did I do with it? Y'all holler out when you see it, because I know it's here. I just had it in my hand. Did I drop it? Oh well, we'll get another one. We'll get another one. Now, I don't want this dark green, so I'm going to wipe this off. And if I had an extra piece of paper, I'd wipe it on that, but I don't. Now I want the shabby shutters up here. I want to bring some of this in up here. Like this. For in the middle. Okay. Now, I want to take my water. Here it is. And I'm just going to put some water in my hands. Splat, splat, splat. Okay, just getting it kind of all over the place. Maybe up there a little bit more. Maybe down here a little bit. Come on. I don't have much up at the top, do I? There we go. Okay, now take my paper towel, dry it off. Dry my hands. Okay. Ugh. Now my hands are really wet. Okay. Oh, I do like that. I do like that a lot. We can put the green away. We don't need the green. Now where's our bunny rabbit? Here's our bunny rabbit. Oh, doesn't she look adorable? Okay, so around our bunny rabbit's got purples and blues and grays. Now, I don't know if I have any of the grays out. I know I don't. So let me grab up my gray. Let's see what I have in the gray. I don't think I have any gray to tap on it. Now, these are yellows and greens. I don't think I have a gray out, so hold on a second. Let me see if I've got a gray. Hold on just a second, you guys. Okay, so I have a couple of them that I want to try here and see which I like the best. I have antique linen, which I know is really light. In my mementos, I have a London fog, which I've never used. And then I have my hickory smoke, and I have frayed burlap, just to see, because I really don't know what they're going to look like. Now we're going to color these out on this and see what we like. So I'm going to take this mermaid blue off of here from earlier today. Oh, I guess I have used London fog at one time or another. Let's see what it looks like. That's pretty good. Okay. So there's that one. Okay, so here's the thing for this one. This is frayed burlap. Now, frayed burlap isn't really gray, but I'm wondering if it's neutral enough that it'll... Oh, now I really like that one. I think that's too dark, though. That one's a little bit too dark. All right, so let's put that one away. Okay, so we know that one's too dark. So we'll put that one away. We know we don't want that one. And now, hickory smoke. Oh, well, I don't have a hippie badootie for hickory smoke. So let's try it this way. Oh, no. No. That's way too dark. So I need to get a pad for hickory smoke. Okay, so I think it's going to be this one. Or let's try the linen. Let's see if we can get some up here. Oh, now I do like that. But I don't like it on that. I like the London fog on it. Okay. Oops. Whoops, I just tore the edge off of it. Okay. All right. So let's use London fog. Now, we're going to be gentle. I just want to do the tap, 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 because I just want to add a little bit of color around it. Yeah, I don't want to make it really dark. I'm just adding a little bit of color. There we go. Yeah, just like that. Just very, very gentle. Now these are just printed on, you know, copier paper right now. So you can print these on, you know, any type of paper you want. There we go. But I knew I was just going to use these to stick down, so there. Ah, I like that. That really looks nice. Okay. So let's take this off for now. You know what? I think I might leave it on because I think I want to use this as a second layer around the edge here. Kind of bring this up on the corners. Just a little bit. There. All right. So we're going to keep that there. And then behind the bunny rabbit, I have this picture. And I want to put that picture down and put the bunny rabbit in that field on our tag. Now, our bunny rabbit's, you know, of course, bigger than our picture, but that's okay. Okay, so let's get this trimmed off here. Now, let's see how much of our picture. I mainly want this part. So I'm thinking bring it down here. Okay, so maybe here. Maybe bring it over a little bit. So we can see some of it. Some of our background. Yeah, because all that pretty background we just made, I'm covering up. Or maybe bring it over here with our bunny rabbit on this side. Let's try that. Okay, maybe I don't like that. Maybe we do this. I don't know. Honestly, I kind of like him by himself, but he looks kind of lonesome. Oh, now that's maybe a little bit better. Or there is a little, where's that little butterfly? I have a little bitty butterfly too. Let's find that little, I have a little tiny butterfly over here, and I had them all sorted so I'd be able to find them. No, not the turtle. There's a little tiny butterfly here. Here it is. Well, that's not the tiny one, but that's a little bit too big. He was little like that. Where did he go? All right, you little stinker. Okay, so maybe we're not doing that. Maybe we're gonna do these guys. No, I really want the bunny rabbit. Now I could do a butterfly. I'd be happy with a butterfly. But I wish I could find the little one. I must have dropped it. Okay. Well, little man. I guess it's going to be you. And some of your little blue flowers behind you. Now I do have some more of those. Like here's one with the bumblebee on it, and you know there are others of those. Now I do like that too. Okay, I think I like that right there. All right, so let's get this down before I change my mind again. So, let's get some right there. And right there. And then we're going to turn it over. I think before I glue it down, though, I want to go on and get our eyelid in the top of it. So let me grab my eyelets here. I know you're thinking, come on, woman. So I want to put a large eyelid in this. Right about there. There we go. All right, so let's get this down. Okay, there's our tag. Whoops, get up there. Behave yourself. Okay, there's our tag. Now, how much you want to bet I've lost the envelope? Oh, there it is. All right, so there's our tag with our bunny rabbit. It is going to go right there. Oh my gosh, look, and he's peeking right through at us. Okay, so now I can either go on and make this into a belly band, or I can leave it just flip back and forth like this. I think I'm going to leave it flip back and forth like this for now because, you know, it's still early on and you never know what I might want to put there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And then if I change my mind, I can always change it. So let's get some of this stuff put away here where it goes. So there we go. So we've done 2 tonight. Well, it's nighttime for me. I don't know if it is for you, but so we've got this little envelope with a tag. Make sure he's down there. And then let's get this stuff cleaned up here so you can see what we did. Let's get these out of the way. Let's get all these out of the way. Okay, so we did that one. And then in this book, we made our envelope into, now where is it? I think it was back here in the third one. We made our envelope into a, let's see, I wonder what will fit here. Will this fit through? There. That fits there. Plus that. So not only do we have a pocket, but we have a belly band on that one. So now we have those to decorate. So I am excited about doing that. So that will be fun to do. So there we go. So we've done envelopes in 2 different ways. So we've done them as belly bands and we've done them as pockets, all in one sitting. So how fun is that? So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And I want to thank you for having some fun with me. And I want to invite you back to have some fun with me again in our next video. And I hope that you join me. And I hope that you have some fun with your scrap envelopes. And I hope that you play along and make a journal like we are. It's just, junk mail that I get in my mail every single day. It seems like I say every day to the mail lady, you really don't have to bring me this junk mail. And she says, oh, but I insist. And she just brings me more and more. So that's all it is. It's just junk mail I get in the mail every single day. So there's no sense putting it back in the trash. I just find things to do with it, and there we go. So that's all that it is. So I hope that you find things to do with your junk mail and use it in your journals, and you have some fun with it like we are. And until I see you again in our next Ladybugs Journal video, ta-ta for now.